bien sabemos recibir aquí a la gente que queremos y admiramos con un fuertísimo aplauso a Richard Gere. ¡Woo! Pretty woman walking down the street.
La señora no evolucionó cinematográficamente.
Welcome to Mexico, Richard Gere. We are so happy to receive you. We are so happy to receive you. Hola, hola, hola. Ah, de doble beso me tocó, ¿eh? A rato les reparto uno. Look at them. They're all here because they want to hear you. Yes. Everybody, ya vieron la película, ¿verdad? ¿Todos vienen de ahí de verla? Sí.
Does everyone speak English here?
Yes.
It's okay?
It's okay.
You don't need translation?
No.
Okay, good. This is, this face I've seen, this beautiful, sweet, open faces. Really beautiful. I've seen this all over the world when we show this movie. When the lights come up, after spending an hour and a half with His Holiness the Dalai Lama, it's amazing how so much crud just falls away. And when His Holiness talks about brothers and sisters, there is this feeling in the room that maybe we really are brothers and sisters. And maybe this world can be fueled with kindness, basic good heart, generosity of spirit. We don't have to protect ourselves. We're innately safe. That we all basically have the same vision of where we want to live, how we want to live, our kids, our grandkids, generations beyond that. That we can, in one moment, we can turn on a light and the darkness of infinite lifetimes has gone away. Like that, by just waking up. So to spend an hour and a half with someone who has woken up and can guarantee us that it's possible to turn that really beautiful, loving, kind light in our hearts, turn that on. What an inspiration, isn't it? It's possible. And he can articulate it. It's not just like a kind of a nebulous feeling of, wow, I feel blissful. But it's something that's deep and genuine, and right there for us. Right there for us. And all he says is, you just have to do the work. We've spent infinite lifetimes saturating ourselves with negativity. It takes a lot of work to get rid of that stuff. Delusions don't go away by themselves.
We need to clean the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Un aplauso fuertísimo. No, don't go home. This is your home now. You can have a seat. Where do you want to sit? También le quiero dar la bienvenida a,
Say hello to Sergio Graf. Stand up, Sergio. El hombre. No, he's the man. He's like the real deal in the environment. And thankfully, he's part of your government right now. But this is someone who really cares, has great skill. And immediately, I felt comfortable with him.
Un aplauso fuerte. Gracias. Bueno, también nos acompaña una figura clave para que este mensaje exista y se sostenga en nuestro país. Él es fundador de Casa Tíbet México, quien ha dedicado su vida a compartir las enseñanzas del Dalai Lama desde una mirada profunda, contemporánea. Un fuerte aplauso, por favor, para Tony Cara. Adelante, Tony, bienvenido. Y también quiero darle la bienvenida a una estudiosa, una practicante también de Casa Tíbet que está dedicando su vida y su pasión y su entrega y su corazón hacia una asociación civil que se llama Atentamente, cambiando la educación de nuestra infancia aquí en México. Así que un fuerte aplauso para Daniela Labra. Venga, Dani. Pues bueno, vamos a tomar asiento, ¿qué les parece? Where would you like to sit?
Now, just getting a translator so that whatever's done in Spanish, I can hear.
Una bienvenida a nuestra... You want to be a translator?
You're going to do it? Okay. Yes, hello.
Hello.
Hello, what's your name?
My name is Laura.
Thank you, Laura. Gracias.
Vientos, Laura. Pásale por acá, por favor. siéntate aquí. Me siento acá. Yo me siento del ladito. Yo me siento del ladito. Ah, ¿verdad?
Es comediante.
Gracias por reírte, comediante. Gracias.
This is obviously very professional. It's been a lot of rehearsal to get to this point.
Okay. Does anybody need water? Anybody want water? Something for Richard? Here's the tea, Richard. Thank you. Bueno, ahora sí. Vamos a dar inicio entonces. Ay, qué maravilla que esta noche nos reúne una película que no se ve. Una película que se respira. Wisdom of Happiness. Es una invitación a mirar hacia adentro, en medio de un mundo que va demasiado rápido. Tener a Richard Gere aquí, un ser que ha unido de alguna forma Oriente y Occidente, ¿no? Y no solamente desde el cine, sino desde pues, esta convicción espiritual y humanista auténtica. Así que yo digo que otro aplauso a Richard Gere. Vamos a empezar con el panel. Yo sugiero que hagamos una conversación así de humana, así de bonita, así de amena como la película que acabamos de ver. Ay, no les quiero dar la espalda, estoy perfecto aquí, ¿verdad? Venga. Entonces, cada quien en nuestro rubro, pues cada quien vive la espiritualidad de distinta manera, ¿no? A mí me gustaría preguntar a nuestro invitado, Richard, ¿en qué momento sentiste que tu camino espiritual y el mensaje del Dalai Lama ya eran inseparables? When was that point? Did you feel that your personal path?
Yeah,
I
don't think there was like there was a moment. I think for everyone it's different how they kind of approach their exploration of who they are, what the world is, what is reality, what's the point, what does it all mean? So I think I was kind of born in that cloud of yearning and trying to figure things out. And, I think it came to the head for me when I was a teenager, which everyone goes through that, I think, as a teenager. But I guess I was having a spiritual crisis. And so I began exploring. And why do I feel so lousy? Why am I so confused about things? Why is the world so threatening to me? Why are other people so threatening to me? So I was looking around. I was searching, and I'll just tell you a story. I was living in New York, so I was an actor. I'm searching, and I'm in the West Village in New York, and luckily I'm working, so I can pay my rent, and I'm doing okay. There's an all-night bookstore at Sheridan Square in Greenwich Village. This bookstore was open all night. Now I didn't have any money, and most anyone didn't have any money, but you would see all those people who were yearning also for some deep answers to things would gather at this bookstore, and it had a big section on philosophy and psychology and religion. And I remember going through every book on that bookshelf, and there was a benevolent cashier in the store who didn't throw us out. He let us use it like a library. So I read every book on every religion and every psychology. And originally it was Zen Buddhism that really touched me, and Japanese culture that really touched me. So that was, and it was a good choice for me, because it got me into an everyday practice. I daily practice is really important with something like this. Like learning to play the piano, you know, or a sport, or anything else. You have to work at it. You have to practice. So it was a spiritual practice, a daily meditation spiritual practice started when I was about 22. Then that matured with time, and you know, when I was around 30, 31, this is a very long, boring story, I'm sure to everyone, but I decided that I was going to go to Tibet, and a friend of mine who was writing a book, John Avedon was writing a book about the Tibetans then, In Exile from the Land of Snows. Actually quite an important book, but he hadn't finished writing it. But I went to talk to him, he said, don't go to Tibet, the Chinese won't let you see anything. I said, where should I go? He said, go to Dharamshala in India. And I didn't know anything about the political situation. I didn't know they'd gone into exile. I didn't know much about the Dalai Lama. In 81, there wasn't that much material that was available. I don't know in Spanish, but in English, very little. And certainly about His Holiness, there was almost nothing. There was the Evans Vence books. That was about it. So anyhow, long story short, I went to Delhi and I had letters of introduction, and I took an all-night terrible train to Pathankot, and from Pathankot in Punjab, I got a car that took me to Himachal, and then from somewhere in Himachal to Dharamshala, and then somehow from Dharamshala up to McLeod Ganj. And it was monsoon, and it was raining so much, and it was so cold and wet, and it was miserable. And thank God I was able to stay with Nari Rinpoche, His Holiness's younger brother, and Rinchen Kandrala, his incredible wife. And what they did is indoctrinate me for about 2 weeks. And I basically saw the greatest hits of Tibetan culture and met hermit yogis up in the mountains, extraordinary lamas up in the mountains. The handicraft centers, the nunneries, the monasteries, the political system, the parliament that was being formed at that point. But after 2 weeks, I was given an audience with His Holiness, and how can I describe that? I came into that meeting, as one would expect, with a very romantic idea that the Dalai Lama was going to, of course, see that I was a Buddha, and to wave his hand, and I would be transcendent. And he stopped me very short of that, very early in the session. But the man that I met then was the one that you saw in this movie. It was the same simplicity, skill, directness, kindness. I'm not going to bore you with everything that was said, but he very skillfully used my profession to inquire about emotions, and specifically the afflictive emotions. And he said to me, so when you're doing your acting, because his brother told him I was an actor, so these emotions, are they, you make them, right? And I said, well, yeah, we generate them to tell a story. So you make these emotions. Are you really angry? Are you really jealous? Are you really blissful? Are you really proud? And are you sad? All these emotions, all these incredible emotions, are those real? And I said, I don't know if they're real. I experienced them. And he just looked at me and started laughing. And it was the first of many teachings I'd had with His Holiness. And of course he was saying, here I was, the magician essentially, making emotions to fool an audience, you know, with the best of intentions to tell a story, but I'm fooling the audience that these emotions and the storytelling is real. In real life, we do the same thing. We just don't know we're doing the magician's trick. So that was the beginning of my apprenticeship right there.
No, thank you. Gracias. Yo tengo una pregunta. ¿Todo el mundo habla inglés o les dio pena levantar la mano? ¿Todo el mundo habla inglés aquí? O van a querer que se traduzca también lo que se dice en inglés?
No.
¿Verdad? Sí, habemos algunos que no hablamos inglés, está padrísimo. Entonces que sí se traduzca, ¿va? Buenísimo.
It's okay. If we want a translation, we'll make it work.
Okay. But
Yes.
not that question because it was a little bit long. But not that answer, I mean. Ya no van a traducir esa, luego te la cuento, órale.